Morning everybody, Silverbolt here, back for another video. Now, as the ever-indomitable Mr. McFeely has posted it on his wall, and I went and had a look at it on Facebook. He posted a link, himself and Mr. Exaggerated Allergy, posted a link to a up-and-coming new cartoon that is coming out. I went to have a look at it, and let's just say I made a few noises the whole way through, because it looks epic. It is a redo of an 80s TV series, and it's already causing a little bit of a stir. It is, of course, to those of you who don't know, we are getting a redo of Thundercats. Yes, the ever wonderful TV cartoon series that flourished in the 80s with over 100 episodes. Now, the new cartoon has come along, the new trailer has been out for a while, and yes, people are going, "That's not Thundercats, where's Penthrow?" For want of a better word, I'm going to call them Thunderrunners. I know it sounds like a bad porn name, but it's a bad name for a bad group of people. Let's see, we've already got the up and arms in complaints about it. But anyway, I'll go through them through the video. Let's see, new Thundercats cartoon, they have posted an 8-minute snippet from an hour-long episode that is coming out in July, going to be airing on Cartoon Network. The exact date, I don't know. Feel free to tell me, because I can be sat there like this the entire way through it. As, you know, a child of the 80s, which I am, you know, I will critique it and I will compare, and from what I've seen from the 8-minute snippet clipping, I'm going to commit absolute heresy and say, you know what, that actually looks better than the original. Hang on, no, wait, hang on. I'm waiting for it. No. Rick Astley is not coming back from 1985 to snipe me down. No, he's not. Oh my God, whatever happened? Oh no. Anyway, sorry, Thunderrunners, but no. You know, it looks fantastic. I've only seen 8 minutes, so I admit I am basing this completely on what I've seen in this 8-minute clip that's on YouTube, which looks fairly epic. You know, Tigra and Lion-O are in there, of course, and they are now brothers. And I just know that you're going to get some smart and they're going, well, how can a lion and a tiger be brothers? They're two different types of cats. Yeah, cats don't wear clothes, cats don't walk on 2 feet, and cats don't talk. Oh, and another important factor, it's a cartoon. That echoed. Ooh. I smite thee! That one echoed and all. No, there's going to be people walking in the park just outside my house going, what the? What's going on up there? But anyway, yes. And the reason that's prompted me for this video was A, watching the absolutely epic 8-minute, you know, snippet of Thundercats, but also reading all these anal comments that are all over YouTube and everything. And there was one guy, I don't know who he was, but he said he was 20. That puts his date of birth at 1991, after the show aired. And you know, he might as well have used the phrase "raping my childhood." And it's like, hang on a second. Unless you are over the age of 25, you cannot use the phrase "raping my childhood." You weren't around when the original series came out. Yes, you may have watched it later on down the line, but so have I. You know, there were episodes as a child. I saw episodes when I was a kid that I didn't see as an adult. There are episodes that I've seen as an adult that I didn't see as a kid. You know, you know what? It's a cartoon. So it's getting a redo. Another comment was, why isn't Shatara in that sexy leotard? What is wrong with some people? Again, I'm going to play the cartoon card. I've got a whole deck of cartoon cards, but it's a cartoon card, by the way. Also, you do realise she's a cat, right? Underneath that sexy leotard, she's got 6 nipples! Some people. I despair at the fandom sometimes, and it's, you know, and this just shows that it's not just some Transformers fans that are woefully sad. You know, it's the Prime's got, you know, Chitara's not in a leotard. It's Prime's got flames fiasco all over again. You know what? So, you know what? So, someone says she doesn't look as womanly. I'm sorry, are we like just totally abusing your 15-year-old wank fantasies or something? You know what? It's a cartoon card. I'm playing it once again, and yes, I'm acting like I've got a dual disc on because I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX all morning. While sticking together Dark Elder. And I'm applying for jobs as well, for something that I did. Well, no, I did that last night rather than this morning, but there we go. Yes, so, there we go. Yes, Chitara is not a busty wench. What she does seem to be is kick-ass, though. And they all do. Tigra, I think, should just be renamed Ryu, because I'm fairly sure in that 8-minute segment he actually does a whirlwind kick to Lion-O and knocks him off a big pillar. Larry Kenney, the voice of Lion-O, has returned as the voice of Lion-O's father. Lynn Lipton, so far I didn't hear her voice, of which she is probably inherently glad, seeing as throughout the first series she provided the entire range of female vocals, which was, if you look back at it now, was painfully obvious. You know, some female vocals like the Sorceress that Mumra tries to ally was just Lynn Lipton doing her Chitara voice with a bit of a, bit of a drawl attached to it. You know, she almost sounds drunk. Lion-O no longer starts off as like a 12-year-old boy. He actually starts off as a young adult, which I'm going to assume he's going to stay as a young adult the entire way through the cartoon. I'm going to assume that. I don't know. And you know, he starts off very princess. Is it a Disney princess who likes to go down into the slums? It is. It's Princess Jasmine in Aladdin, isn't it? You know, he likes to put on the disguise and go down to the slums and have a look round and get involved in disputes. And he's got a very moral, strong sense of fibre, which is something that, that Lion-O, as a character, has had. I mean, when they do these redos, these redos come out. Look at Transformers Animated. Transformers Animated was a fantastic, proper reboot of a Transformers toy line, which we hadn't had in a while, not since, the Unicron trilogy finished. So Transformers Animated was a brilliant. It had its annoying moments, I would admit. I hated the human villains in it. They drove me mad. But the storylines were really, really good. Then you had things like Transformers Prime, which I haven't made it past episode 5 on, because I simply can't be bothered with it. Not because I think it's that bad, but it just hasn't held my attention. On the other hand, this Thundercats looks like I'm going to be glued to the TV watching it, because it looks absolutely amazing. So, and it doesn't look to... I mean, Transformers Animated was very kiddified. This one at the moment doesn't look to be that kiddified. Well, I suppose it's kiddified in the same way that JLA was kiddified and JLU was kiddified. So, you know what? You don't want your 3-year-old watching it expecting, you don't want you don't want your 3-year-old watching it looking for the ootsy cutesy wootsy wootsy bits, but you're not going to see Snarf dismembered on a rack. I'm sorry to say. Oh, look, Snarf doesn't talk. Well, we don't know. It doesn't look like Snarf talks. That's not a bad thing. Oh no, and that's another thing that the Thunder Runners will no doubt complain about. Oh no, Snarf should talk. Yes, he should sound like an irritating little tart. Tart's completely the wrong word, but I was trying not to swear, because I was going for another word that started with F. Anyway, yes, because, Snarf's voice was an annoying little fart. Everyone's like, and more the raping by childhood thing. Well, you know what? Thundercats, through rose-tinted glasses, Thundercats was a great cartoon. If you actually look back on it properly, the same way you can look back on Transformers, you look back at it properly, Thundercats reused stock footage. It had the same 5 voice actors who, you know what, a lot of their voices sounded very, very similar to each other. Kind of like the way the Waspinator voice and the Merman voice from He-Man sounds to Scott McNeil's voices. It's kind of one of them ones. So, You know, Peter Newman, he did a lot of the voices. And Earl Hammond did the voice of Panthro, and it was so obvious when he did any other voice of who it was. But, you know, so there we go. You know, so it used stock footage. It had a very, very limited voice acting. And let's face it, the scripting was... Actually, you know what? Hang on. I'll show you this from the voice of the great Lion-O himself. Where is it? Here we go.
I should have known the Territor didn't mean us any harm when the Sword of Omens didn't obey me. And anyway, it was just plain stupid to assume it might be bad.
Hang on, let me try that again, because that didn't work.
I should have known the Territor didn't mean us any harm when the Sword of Omens didn't obey me. And anyway, it was just plain stupid to assume it might be bad. Just what the fuck am I talking about?
There you go. That's Lion-O himself going, what the? So there we go. So yes, let's face it, the scripting was terrible. How this one would compare... You know what, Thundercats was, you know, it was a great cartoon, but it was far from... It was far from, the, you know, the animated perfection that some people seem to think it was. Now, I like Thundercats, for the most part. I like Mask. Actually, no, in all fairness, Mask was a great cartoon. So, completely implausible as well, you know. Visionaries, you know. We were actually discussing, you know, now that the Transformers films are finished, what other films would you like to see made into real live action? And I would have to say, the one thing I would like to see redone is Mask. I wouldn't like to see them do Visionaries, because let's face it, Michael Bay doing Visionaries? Because Visionaries, you know, actually had character development. Bumblebee couldn't even get his voice repaired across 3 films. Anyway, but yes, you know, I'd like to see Mask redone. And for God's sake, they'd better not put in T-Bob. So Thundercats the redo has come out. A lot of people are looking forward to it. I know a lot of my friends are myself and my friends are looking forward to it. I can't wait to see this hour-long episode. I think it's going to be fantastic. It looks brilliant. Yes, we haven't seen Panthro yet, but I'm sure he will come into it. And I know it sounds really bad to say, but I bet you Panthro's going to be black. Just from the images that's been going around, that's been said a few times now as well. But he is going to come across. He is going to come across black. He's going to come across like not like the twins, but you know how the twins are very stereotypical. I think Panthro's going to come across as, you know, I think he's going to be Epps. You know, he's going to be one of those cool black dudes that, you know, you just know that he's just going to be able to go up to your head and go if you annoy him a little bit. So there we go. Shitara, wearing a 2-piece. Yeah, okay. And you know, I don't actually get off to cartoon characters. That's never been one of my things. But you know what? Whatever floats your boat. Look at it this way. You're seeing her belly, and her top's quite low cut. You know, in the original cartoon, it was like yellow fur with a yellow leotard. I could go further. I won't, because if you're getting off to Shitara, you're a freak, probably with severe mommy issues to go with it. She's a cartoon character. You know, at least people who like hentai have a little bit of excuse. It's, you know, designed to be sexy. Sexy is so the wrong word to describe hentai. But there we go. You know, Shitara, well, you know what, never mind the phallic-shaped symbol of a bloody staff and the tight leotard, but no, it's weird! So yes, you know, Shitara's in a 2-piece, you know, her hair's not as poofy, you know, she doesn't look like Diana Ross. Or Bonnie Tyler. Bonnie Tyler's probably a more accurate description for Shitara than Diana Ross. She doesn't have Bonnie Tyler style hair anymore. Tigra, as I said, he should be renamed Ryu. Snarf looks cute. I know for a fact that Philly's going to love him. And so far hasn't talked, which is a bonus in my book. Kit and Kat look quite funky. They're more streetwise, well, pickpockets than they were wisecracking, annoying little fart asses that they were in the 80s cartoon. And they're not nobles. The only nobles so far that appear to be Thundercats, this is based on what I've seen as well, would be Lion-O and Tigra, who are brothers. We've already gone the whole brothers thing. Oh well, who appear to be brothers. At least Tigra calls him little brother. So I'm going to assume that they're brothers. And I've already, as I said, I've already cleared the tiger and lion arguments. You know, Chitara, we don't know what Chitara is. Chitara could be anything, actually. She could be military. I mean, they all seem to have mad fighting skills, which of course they're going to have. I didn't see Mumra in that clip, but I do know Mumra's in it. And of course we haven't seen Panthro in that clip, but again we do know Panthro's in it. Jaga, I believe anyway, is voiced by Corey Burton. So that should be good. The Sword of Omens looks good. Very, very similar to the original design. But it has got more of a fantastical element to it rather than just the straight out broadsword that he had in the original series, obviously with the moving quillions and the symbol of the Eye of Thundera and the crossguard and things like that. But there we go, that's, going into the aesthetics of the Sword of Omens, there's no need to do that. The claw shield is in there as well. How big a capacity it has, we don't yet know. But it actually looks like it can do stuff other than just being a solid, what do they look? Because in the original cartoon series, it looked like a shamanistic bear paw. So yes, I have to say, I'm really looking forward to seeing this a revival of an 80s cartoon, which was great in its own way, but was far from the perfect utopia that certain people seem to remember it as. In all fairness, I could sit here and rant about how Thunder Runners are ruining my childhood, by necessarily keeping it pure. But you know what? It's not good to raise too much attention to those kinds of people, because to those of us, who are mostly normal in our loving of old 80s cartoons, they give us the bad name. But no doubt we're sellouts because we suddenly believe that things had to move past brick and mortar to give us steel. If we listened to those kind of people, we'd still be bloody cooking over an open fire and bashing saber-toothed tigers over the heads with stone axes. If you listen to those kind of people, how nothing can ever change. But anyway, that is another rant for another time, which I may do at some point. A rant against the purists. Interesting. But anyway, as much as and as much as I might compare things to what they were, that doesn't mean that they have to stay that. That doesn't mean they have to stay the way they are. Oh my God, I need a haircut. Well, actually, no, my hair just needs straightening. That doesn't mean they have to stay the way they are. Things move forward. It happens. As I said, the original Thundercats cartoon was great. It was far from perfect. This one looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to see it. But for now, this is Silverbolt signing off, saying au revoir, adios, au revoir.